afternoon, everybody. We're here today to talk to you about DesignEdit and try to get all the questions answered. We've been running a promotion on DesignEdit for the past few weeks, and in the course of that, we've fielded a lot of questions, and we've logged them, and we're going to try to get through them all today. So at this point, I'm going to turn this over to Dave to do a demo.
Yeah, so we are going to just do a quick demo of DesignEdit just to show you what this is all about. Many of you already know, but what I've done here is I've pulled up one of our public demo websites that has DesignEdit on that, and we'll just show you what it is. I'm going to start maybe in a little bit of a different angle first. I'm going to very quickly get to DesignEdit, but what I want to show you is, first of all, the order forms on a website. And we can get to DesignEdit right from here. I'm going to come in a slightly different way in just a moment. This is how people get to DesignEdit, the tool that allows your customers to do all of their own design work. The reason that I wanted to start here, though, is this is a website order form, which is fully customizable. You have all of the tools you need to ask the exact questions that are important to you. And our goal with the websites, really, it's to drive everything we can to this order form. And so when we talk about DesignEdit, it is one of a number of ways that you can use to help drive print orders to these order forms. So keep that in mind. When we're showing DesignEdit, which I'll do in just a quick moment here, the end goal is simply to get a print-ready job and push it to an order form. So we'll talk you through that process here, and we could get to DesignEdit through this business card order form. Any order form that has a category in DesignEdit will allow you to get into DesignEdit. But I'm going to go in through a bigger view right here. Our name is DesignEdit. That is not necessarily meaningful to your customers, so they're going to see this as Design Online. And these days, who doesn't want to design online? So we'll follow that link, and there it is. This is the view of DesignEdit. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 20,000 templates that are ready to use, the ability to start layouts from scratch or a generic layout, and lots of different categories. Again, 20,000 templates and lots of images that go with those. So let's hop into one of those. And again, I'm playing the role of your customers, and we're just going to pop open the DesignEdit interface. And you can see it starting to come to life. And there it is. This is the starting point that your customers can use to build their documents online. It's everything you would expect to see in an online design interface. The ability to go in and change text, the ability to change graphics. I could replace this image. And just to keep with this theme, I'm just going to search for professional auto repair. Let's see if I can find an old clunker that looks like mine. Well, we'll go with this one. And can add their own images too. Your customers can add their own images, and we'll come up to this a little bit more in some of the frequently asked questions, but it gives you real-time updates on the quality of that image. Plenty of other tools as well. You can insert your own images, shapes, icons, patterns. I'm just giving you the real whirlwind tour of that. My whole point here is I wanted to show you that this is the tool that your customers can use to find a great starting point, change it as little or as much as they want, and deliver that to the order form, which I'll do in just a moment. One other thing that I'll mention while we're here is a lot of your customers, print buyers, they might use this as a starting point. I already hinted at it. They'll change it as much or as little. Well, some people can make dramatic changes here, and it'll look nothing like this, and that's fine because it's that great starting point. Or they can come back in and just change it just enough to make it be truly their own. Make sure to pay attention to both sides. Keep on making those changes that we might want to make. And we just keep on right on moving through all of those tools. I'm not going to spend a ton of time going deep into these tools, at least not at this stage. I would encourage you, for everyone that's attending, I would encourage you to take a look on our demo website and kick the tires on your own if you'd like. But for now, I'm going to save this. And if I were a print buyer, you can see it saving here. My next step would be to wait for it to finish saving. There it is. We've saved it, and then we'll continue.
Never mind. I was going to chime in on the save. But...
And I'll explain that voice you heard in just a minute. A little teaser. This is the guy behind the technology of DesignEdit. So we'll get back to that in just a moment. And here it is. This is what I talked about with the order form. We're driving that print-ready job right to the order form. And at this point, it's the website's e-commerce shopping system. And then it's back to business as usual. That is the whirlwind tour of DesignEdit. And now I'm going to circle back a little bit, and I would like to introduce you to Jason, who has also joined us on this webinar. He's the guy that brings DesignEdit to life behind the scenes. And Jason, I'll do our little story here in a minute, but you were about to say something in that interface. Is that something you wanted to touch on now?
No, we're past it. Sorry, I shouldn't have interjected there. So
okay.
We're good. But nice to meet everybody here on the call, and thanks for joining in. Appreciate having you.
So we're just really tickled to have Jason here with us. I have to share just a really quick story, because this is our second round with DesignEdit. Our first one, we had relied on a technology partner that, well, didn't quite turn out the way we had hoped. It was good, it was okay, but it was not the best it could be. And I just knew that there was something better out there. And I quite literally went on a worldwide search. Well, worldwide from my desktop, at least. I didn't hop on the plane, but I was looking. I found some good leads throughout the world. Here's the funny thing. Through a random connection, I met Jason. And what I didn't know at that time is that Jason's family and my family went to the same church. Jason's kids and my kids went to the same school, separated by a few grades, so that we never ever really bumped into each other. Jason and I, our offices were literally a 5-minute walk from each other here in Fargo, and I'd been looking all over the world, and the answer was just minutes away from my office there. It took us getting together at one of the trade shows in Chicago to begin making this connection, and it's really been a good partnership. So, Jason, just really thrilled that we are here at this point.
Likewise, it's been good partnership.
So here's why we're doing this today. Is we pulled this webinar together pretty quickly, and Kathy already mentioned it. The reason we pulled this webinar together so fast is we wanted to kind of meet the demands to all of the questions that were being asked for the last-minute shoppers out there that are checking out DesignEdit and the promo, which I think that's probably a good point for me to segue back to you, Kathy. Maybe you just want to do the quick reminder of the promo.
Okay, the promotion that we're running right now is you're going to receive half price on the implementation fee. It's normally $999, but you will be getting it for $499. Significant savings, which something which we've never offered before. And then you will also receive the DesignEdit Marketing Kit, which is a $299 value at no charge. And that we can cover that. Oh, you've got it up already. That's all the content you need to run a promotion over a period of several days up to a month, all very professionally done. And I don't know, Dave, do you want to click through each piece, or how do you want to do that?
Well, I think what we'll do is I'll do my best to help us each remember it. Let's get this link out, the one that's up on the page in the follow-up email. We'll try our best to do that. If for whatever reason we miss it, you can get to this as well by going to our website, looking for DesignEdit, and then getting to this page. But this is a pretty big deal because this is one of the areas where we felt we really wanted to step up and help you use DesignEdit as effectively as possible. And so it does, this marketing kit does include a brochure that you can use and customize for yourself, an insert, a sales letter, and an envelope. So we have those physical pieces there. And then some digital pieces as well, including email content and some 3 sets of social media posts to help you draw people back to your website to use DesignEdit, and then a campaign workflow that you might want to use as the model. This is a real big deal.
Dave, we might also want to send them the webinar that tells them how to market, how to use this content to get maximum effectiveness. Oh, you've got it right there. Okay.
Well, I'm not going to play it, but you're exactly right. We absolutely want to get this webinar in your hands. Now, this webinar is from our Sell More Printing series. And if you're not already signed up for that, boy, I would absolutely encourage you to sign up for that. This is just super helpful information. Rachel does such a wonderful job. In this particular webinar, the webinar was all about, well, just like the title says, your complete guide to marketing a new product. And so it's not specifically about DesignEdit, but she uses DesignEdit and the marketing kit that we just talked about as the example on how you can market a new product, take your biggest, newest thing out into the marketplace. So absolutely, we'll get that link to you because it does match up nicely with that campaign, and it's just super good info.
And it will tell you not only how to market to consumers, but also business to business, how to handle the content that you receive for this with this kit.
So we're going to do our best to keep this webinar down to 30 minutes, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we answer the questions that are out there. So if we go a little over, just be patient with us, and we'll get you wrapped up and back to selling more printing as quickly as we can. But let's move into some of the questions that have been coming in. And for those of you that are online watching this, if you have questions about DesignEdit, send them on in. Use the questions panel in your GoToMeeting, your GoToWebinar software, and send those questions in, and we'll keep our eyes open for that and answer as many as we can. But for now, Kathy, if you are ready, I will just start firing out some of those questions that you've been fielding. You ready for them?
Sure.
All right, and let me do this. And Jason, if you have anything that you want to chime in on at any point as well, I'd love to have you join in as well. Okay. Question number 1 is, will the customer or the printer be able to add their own templates?
Not, and the answer is no, not in DesignEdit. There's over 20,000 templates to choose from, and so there's not the ability to add your own templates.
Yeah, and with the ability to start from scratch or use those 20,000 templates, I don't know that that's going to be a big obstacle for people because there's tons of good starting points out there. Next question is, what about the allowance for cut lines and bleeds?
That's all accounted for in DesignEdit. What the customer sees is is exactly what they're going to get. It's a print-ready product when they get done designing.
And I think it's safe to say that what they don't see is what they're going to get as well, meaning that if there is an image, as we're showing here, that it is set up to bleed, and so it's friendly for the print buyer. They will get what they see, and it's friendly to you as a printer because you will have the bleeds available to accommodate that. Next question, can the DesignEdit templates be limited?
Yes, they can. They can be limited by category. So if there are certain categories you don't want to put pricing in for, don't want to offer, you can just eliminate those.
And that also speaks to where we match up with the order forms. Back when I did the demo is what we want to do is we want to encourage you to look for the categories that are within the system, within the DesignEdit library here. And if you have order forms that match up with letterheads or menus or postcards or table tents or whatever it is, as long as you have an order form for that category, you can match up that category into your website's order forms. that's something that our team helps with behind the scenes too. So you don't have to go that one alone. Next question is, what color model does DesignEdit use?
They use CMYK.
Okay, yeah, so it's talking the language of print. You will be ready to go there. I'm keeping an eye also on the questions that come in. I did see one come in, which is just relevant to what we talked about. And so I'm going to backtrack a bit. And Jason, I think I'll invite you in to help answer this question. And the question is, do we get just bleeds or do we get crops also?
I can sort of answer that. I'm not sure what is set up on the marketing ideas for printing account. So I believe it comes with crops, but if it doesn't and it's needed, it's certainly something that is customizable. So
Okay.
Bit of a vague answer just because I don't know how it's currently configured, but the system is able to support both.
So I think the safe way to answer that is yes, it will, but if it doesn't, it has the potential to if it doesn't. I'll put it that way.
While we're on here, I'm just going to quickly check to see what it's set at now. So we can continue, and when I talk next, I'll just update with an answer.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jason. Is an order form needed for each category?
And the answer for that is yes. If you want to display that category, you would want to have an order form for it, but you can limit the categories if you don't want to.
Yeah, and that really touches back to the whole point where when we started the demo is we want to drive products to the order form, and that's how we match it up with the categories. The next one is probably along the same lines, and it is, what products does DesignEdit support? And that, I believe, that's where we want to go to this, right, Kathy?
Right, you want to show all categories that DesignEdit supports.
So there's the lineup here. I'll just leave that on the screen while we go over that. You can see it's not only categories, but if it was easier, we could also, or depending on your customer's preference, they can also browse by topic. But I will leave this list of categories just hang up on the screen here so that people can get a feel for that. Keeping on with the categories is, can the categories be limited?
Yes, they can. I think we already mentioned, kind of touched on that. They can be limited, your choice. You just let us know which ones you don't, or you can pick and choose which ones you want to display.
And that really goes back to what categories are we going to connect to what order forms. That's what allows you to determine which categories you want to put up there. Amanda, I see you had a question. We'll take that one next. I'm going to go a little bit out of order here. The question that has come into us frequently is very similar to yours, Amanda, and it is, will a customer be able to take their designed product elsewhere? And the way Amanda asks the question is, would customers be able to pull a proof off the sites to possibly take to other printers? And
the answer is no, they can't. It's locked into the site. It's locked into that account. They can't take it off there.
And I'm going to backtrack, at least for what Kathy and I on our list of questions here. And the question is, when uploading an image, will the customer be notified of a poor resolution image? And
the answer is yes. And I found this out because I was showing somebody how to upload their own image. And I uploaded an image of my grandson and it showed a poor resolution. So I found out, yes, it does.
Wait a minute. This is, I think, the first time I've ever heard you say that your grandson is not perfect.
Oh, that was one time.
Okay. So just to go a little bit deeper into that, this image quality gives you that real-time feedback. And you can say this one is, like Kathy's grandson most of the time, perfect. 300 dots per inch. And if we play around with this and do some cropping and zooming, we can force it to behave badly. And you can see right along with it, we're getting that changing scaling resolution, and now all of a sudden not as perfect. We're marginal, 136 dots per inch, or pixels per inch, whichever way we need to say it there. let's see, let's get back into our list of questions here, which is, can the customer reorder without redesigning?
Yes, they can. Once they go through the process of putting in an order that is locked into their account, then and Dave, we could maybe even show them that. All you have to do is go back to their account, click on that particular order, and they can bring it, it'll take them right back into DesignEdit and to that particular design. So they can either edit it or just reprint it.
And time permitting, we will go to that. I know that I'm logged in with our login, which doesn't lend itself to that as much, but what you said is exactly right. Really, both the printer and the print buyer, both groups of people can go ahead and get back into the editor to work on that. Is there a cost for the library images? We're talking about all of these images that we can add in over here.
There's no additional charge for those. At one time there was, but there is no longer a charge for those. The templates, any use of the templates or those images is just, there's no charge.
Yeah, and boy, that actually kind of reminds me of something I didn't think of until now. There might be some people that remember the original DesignEdit system, the one that we had partnered with prior to meeting Jason. And there was, best I could say it is a somewhat confusing system of DesignEdit credits. So if any of you are on the webinar and remember that, that's a thing of the past. That is not part of the system. The DesignEdit credits that were sometimes, and by sometimes I mean almost all the time, more confusing than they needed to be. That is not here. This is so much easier to use in every way, including the way that we talk about with the pricing. Jason, I'm going to go back to you here for a moment also with the images, because I know we talked about the 20,000 or so templates that are here. Do you have a rough idea how many images are in the library?
Coincidentally, it's fairly similar. I think it's about 19,000 or 21,000 images, and we add those as needed as we produce and grow the template library. So the number of images is always changing, as is the number of templates in the library. So every month there's about 300 to 500 more templates added into the library. So those numbers are constantly growing.
That's actually, I guess I kind of had that in the back of my mind, but I kind of forgot about that too. And just for all of you listening in, or even for our existing customers, that's huge. That shows you that this is something that just is going to continue to get better and better for you and your customers. Jason, while I've got you here, did you want to back up to the crop question? Have you been able to go in a little bit more into that?
I did, yep. So currently PDFs don't export with crop marks. They do export with the bleed area visible, of course, but that is certainly something we can look at for the whoever raised the question. Happy to look at it for you.
Okay, very good. I'll put a marker down for that as well.
Dave, I would add just 30 seconds of commentary here on how we produce these new templates that get into the system. So yeah, we have a lot of good tools that give us insight on what people all around the country and world are looking for in the world of online design. So what they want to make. So we base all of the templates that get pumped into the system are based on what the largest volume of people in the world are currently searching for when they search for online design. So try to design a auto repair flyer, or design a church flyer, or design a EDDM postcard for my restaurant. We don't just we take a pretty calculated approach to what templates get put into the system, so your customers will hopefully find what it is they're looking for and can get it in and out really quick.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so if you want to do what the world is doing, do this. We'll go back to our questions. The e-commerce suite, is it required to have DesignEdit?
No, it's not required to have e-commerce to have DesignEdit, but it's highly recommended. Once they get into a design and if they get stopped up and they can't just place their orders. Sometimes it's frustrating to them because they're all been spoiled with Amazon, like we all have been. So it's just kind of a full package if you have the e-commerce suite to go with it.
Yeah, that's exactly a great point too, like how Amazon has trained us all so well. Remember to approach this from the mindset of your customers, the print buyers. If they've gone through all the work of designing it, they're ready to go. So let's just give them the opportunity to take it all the way past the finish line and allow them to pay for it online. That's what the e-commerce suite can do. Next question we've answered already, at least implicitly, but explicitly answering it is, will DesignEdit integrate with the MI4P order form? And that's a pretty big no-brainer yes at this point, as we've already shown you. I guess I haven't gone all, well, I did go all the way where we can return to the order form. I'm going to leave DesignEdit up here, but, well, no, I won't. I'll go back to that order form just to answer that question fully and visually, and that is right here. And then another question that came in is, can products vary by size? And the answer there is no, but kind of saying this with a little bit of my tongue stuck in my cheek, but so what? Your customers have already looked at the list of the of templates and said, there's the one that I want. They've got all the tools they need to make the perfect whatever it is there. And so lots of variability. Size won't be one of those, but all the other tools there are there to make them as efficient and as well as good as possible. I'm going to backtrack to two more questions, and Jason, I might bring you into these as well, and that is, can Clipart be used?
Sorry, I was on mute. We don't provide a library of clip art. We have a library of stock photography. Few clip art like things may float in there, but we don't provide a big library of it. But if you have your own clip art or any of your own images, they are almost certainly in a format we support. So feel free to upload and use them, and same goes for your customers.
Yeah, and this would be an example. I kind of forgot I had this one in here. This one I'm almost certain was a vector image, even if it isn't. But what you're saying, Jason, is vector images that would just drop in with no problem too.
Absolutely. Yep.
Another question that came in is, how many fonts does DesignEdit support?
Over 100, so hundreds of fonts and a handful of international fonts. I don't know that applies much to this audience, but if it does, there's also support for that as well. So there, yeah, there they are.
Get a teaser of the list right there, yeah. Okay, well, that is all of the questions that I've had that have come in prior to this webinar. Let me just take another pass through and see what other questions that have come in. Dave asks, can we add fonts? And Jason, I think I know the answer on that one, but can I bat that question over to you?
You can. Currently, it is not supported. I won't get into the reasons why. It's not supported, and it's potentially on the radar for to take on in the future, but there's no immediate plans for it.
I know fonts, just like for all you printers out there, if you're going to run into problems outputting things, it always seems like it's fonts, and that's always tends to be a sticking point from my experiences, and that's where we just like the ability to choose fonts that we know are going to work right there and see them right on the fly. Other questions is, do we upload order forms or create them in DesignEdit? And the answer to that one is you don't upload the order forms and you don't create them in DesignEdit, but the order forms, and when we're saying order forms, I'm assuming, Dave, that's asking the question here, that I'm assuming that you mean the question or the order forms that show up as part of the ordering process. And so those are managed through the website's system. Now, remember what I said at the beginning too, our goal is to drive printing products to the order forms. And so the same order forms that we're using for DesignEdit are going to be the same order forms that we use for some of the other entry points, like a custom order or You Design It or Fast Track. All of those are order forms gathering those printed products. Let's see, other questions that we haven't hit. Oh, here's one. We wanted to save a little time for best practices, and this might start to tip into that category. And Amanda asks, do you recommend putting prices on the web or having the customer call and get a quote? And this used to be somewhat of a contentious battle that printers would fight. Do I put my pricing online or not? And honestly, I think that answer is pretty clear these days. And in my opinion, that answer is yes, just like we're showing right here. The price is on the bottom. Because think of it from your print buyer's perspective. They have put all that work into it. They don't want to slow down and wait for a price. Or they also want to know that if they have come to your website, that they can just get in, do their thing, and get out. They're expecting to pay online. And if you don't have that price available for them, they're going to get stuck. And as good as DesignEdit is, if they get stuck there, that might mean that they're going to go somewhere else. So now, when we look at this, it's your choice whether you want to have the order form show pricing or not. Totally your choice on how you want to handle that. My vote is yes. I would say put the pricing on. Let's talk about a few of the other best practices too, and I'll just hit a few of these. And any of you, Kathy, if you ever have, if you want some additional thoughts, please bring them in.
Okay.
But, one of the things that I know that some of our most successful printers that are using DesignEdit are doing is it's not uncommon for them to have a computer set up in the lobby for their customers to use. And the way that they would do that is a customer would come in and say, I want to have this designed, this brochure, this business card or whatever. Can we do that? And then you as the printer say, yep, happy to do that. There'll be $150 of design fee to do that as you're discussing that. And you all have seen the customers cringe, $150 for design. Well, then that's when you can come in and say, or you can design your own and point them over to DesignEdit on the computer in your lobby, whether they do it there on the spot or go back to their own confines of their own office or home. That's an option for them then. That's another way that you can help train people to use that DesignEdit path. Along with that, that also kind of matches up with another best practice where you might want to offer an incentive for self-serve design. And what I mean by that is because the process is much more efficient, it's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it for you to make that process more efficient. You might give them an incentive, or conversely, to put it in the more negative way, which I don't like to do, but the negative way would be to penalize them for using your design team. It's not the right way of saying that. I know that I'm saying it with my tongue in my cheek, but it gives you options. They can either use DesignEdit to do the self-serve or use your team to do the totally custom hands-on approach to design.
And there are some companies that really want to shy away from business cards and doing them, so they may choose to encourage them in a case like that to go to DesignEdit to do that.
Another best practice that I'll throw it on there is it's a phrase we've started to use more and more here around our office called GETMO. It's an acronym that stands for Good Enough to Move On. And the way I want to approach that, and this is going to sound a little bit tough maybe for all of us that have been in the printing industry and just really concerned about super high quality printing. But remember, it's not our attitude, it's our print buyer's attitude that matters. And you and I might want to always have that absolutely perfect. It might be that your customers have used DesignEdit and maybe they have done it in a way where, to our eyes, when we're used to seeing quality design in and out every single day, maybe what they have done is they have moved one of the images over and it just doesn't look right. Maybe I'm going to exaggerate this, but maybe they have put this way over here and twisted it around and done all kinds of goofy stuff. My whole point is they have taken the time to do that, and you can certainly offer to help them out if you see something that's blatantly wrong. I would encourage that. But at the same time, know that your customers have already put their heart and soul into this, and we don't have to force that high quality printing on them. Same thing, options. Is it good enough to move on? It might already be good enough to move on in your customer's eyes, but you still have the option because you can get your eyes on it as well and say, it's good enough. It doesn't look right to me, but we can move on. Or you might be the one that catches that blatant error when this text box is not where it should be. And then you can go ahead in collaboration with your customers, if it's appropriate, go ahead and use the editor to adjust that. I would suggest that would be another best practice. I think we are getting pretty close to wrapping it up, and there's one more question that came in, and Kathy, I think it's the perfect handoff for you to wrap us up. And the question is, what exactly do we get for $499?
For $499, that is the setup fee, and then it's $99 a month after that. And as far as that is just getting everything set up, and also for the customer care, which is ongoing always, and there is no charge. So if you ever have any questions at all about anything with DesignEdit, we'll be there to answer them. We'll be able to help you with just about anything you need help with, and to assist with getting it on your site. And Dave, if you have anything else to add to that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I would also throw in just one other thought too, is what you get for the $499 is the instant access to the 20,000 templates and the nearly 20,000 images and the whole system. I would dare any of you to go out and sit in your garage for a few weekends and put a system like this together for $499. Get my tongue stuck in my cheek when I'm saying that again, but this is one of the best bargains that I can think of, to be able to instantly have an online design tool like this. And what you said, Kathy, too, about the $99 a month, that is also true. Keep in mind that if you're an existing subscriber, you might already have some add-ons, and you might already be getting discounts for having multiple add-ons. It really can go as low as, and help me out, I think around $55 or so, 52, something like that is the amount that would be added to your monthly invoice if you're already at that discount level.
45% discount goes up to 45% discount. Yep.
That's all I've got. I think we have a few other questions that are coming in, and know that we have noted those, and we'll circle around for individual feedback. But Kathy, anything else that you would like to say to wrap us up?
Well, I would just like to add that I have, in the course of this whole presentation of this promotion, I've talked to a lot of people, and I've run into some that say, well, I just do business to business, and I've got my existing customers, and I'm good. And what I always tell them is this DesignEdit opens up everything to bring in a whole new revenue stream. People that you didn't have for customers, you would now gain for customers, and it would be a whole new revenue stream for you. And you'd also be competing, actually competing with some of the other companies that are out there using, offering this, such as Vistaprint or UPS. And I know that that's been a real thorn in the side of a lot of people as far as that competition goes. So it covers a lot of ground in many areas: new revenue stream, meeting the competition, all of the above. And so the details of the promotion, it's the $500 savings for the startup, and then it's also the $300 savings on the marketing kit. And then also, as Dave mentioned, if you have other services, this would move you into a higher discount bracket, increasing the discount that you are receiving across all services. So those are the details of the promotion. and I have really enjoyed talking with everyone over the past weeks about this service. It's very exciting, and I look forward to working with them in the future. And so, Dave, I'm going to turn this back over to you, and I think that we're close to done.
I think so. Jason, thank you again for joining us today. Kind of short notice, and so appreciate you being able to hop in here. And with that, we will wrap it up, and I'll turn you all loose to get out there and sell more printing.